it! Yay!
Okay.
We're missing Judith, right?
Yeah, but I have everything that she told us to fix from the last meeting written down.
Okay, perfect.
But we can wait for her. I know she's definitely gonna join because she was going back and forth.
So how has everyone been? Oh my goodness.
Good. How have you been?
I'm so
So, are we
tired. I
supposed
had
to
to wake up at 4 from work.
Oh my gosh, where do you work?
I work at H&M, and when I first started working there, I was like, I'm not even gonna have to get there till like 10, but I have to wake up at 4 to get there at 5. I'm like,
Wow.
why?
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
No, literally. How is everything with you and your family, Amanda? Are you okay?
Yeah, it was just this big old ordeal. It was like my husband had left with the car and I couldn't find him, and then my mom and my daughter had left walking, and then they called me and said that they were gonna walk back, but my mom was too tired, and they never walked back. And so I was freaking out, and I was like, on the brink of calling the police and everything. And then I went to a neighbor's house and to see if I could like retrace where their steps would be, and we found them. So I was just like, oh, thank God. I was a nervous wreck that day. I'm so sorry, you guys.
No, it's okay.
Not to apologize.
I'm so glad everything is fine. I was like, I kept thinking about it. I was like, I don't know if I should text her or not. Like,
I was like nervous.
I'm sorry.
I'm glad everything's okay.
And then that within the next couple of days, I had like 3 teeth pulled in one day. So I was like, I couldn't talk or anything. It was just awful. The whole past week was all bad.
You've been going through it.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna email Judith.
Yeah, I was gonna just say, should we like remind her?
Sometimes like Canvas is so glitchy. Like I will never get the messages unless I'm like refreshing constantly.
That's what I was doing. I know. It takes me a while to get them.
How do I get my? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh,
I'm like,
I was just about to email you.
I know. Sorry. I mean, I've been like going. Oh my! It's been.
No, you're good. You're good.
A day. That's all I have to say. But hi.
Hi. Hello.
All right, and welcome back, Amanda. I hope everything got settled for you. You're definitely
thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we're all here, so let's get started. So everyone read or listened to our professor's video, right?
Yeah, I have the questions on my
phone.
Okay, awesome. So I think her first one was, what's an American dream? So should we just go around and kind of give our input on our personal thoughts of American dream? Are you good with that? All right, I guess all right, so my thing about American dream would be like that, like the house with the white picket fence and like, the kids and the dad, like almost like a Stepford wife, sort of like, if you've ever, I don't know if I'm dating myself, but like Stepford wife sort of thing, like that's what I think. And also, I mean, that's typically when people are, the American dream, like that kind of thing, having the perfect 9-to-5 job. But I don't know if that's really the thing right now, like that's really realistic these days. So I don't know, like maybe,
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean,
it's not realistic anymore, right?
When I was like trying to relate it to like the book, I was really like thinking of like kind of, because in some of the times where they came from was like a really poor area, so kind of like starting fresh and just trying to build like, or like make your dreams come true. I know one of them wanted to be an actress, but that didn't happen. I think I forgot her name. It started with a Q. I think it was her. I'm not sure, but I think it's just kind of going after like your dreams, I guess. But in like, I don't know, everyone says America is very like I don't know, the land of the dreams or stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're right. Well, and just like the gentleman that now owns the apartment complex too.
Yeah,
right.
Remember,
he was a boxer, right?
Yes, he's a boxer. He wanted to be a boxer, and then that didn't happen. And so now he owns the apartment complex. So yeah, I think that's why people do maybe come from other countries, because they think, oh my gosh, it's so much better, but I don't think grass is always greener, it's not always greener on the other side.
Yeah.
Definitely, like, adding on to that, like, what the American dream is, I feel like definitely it's not alive and well as how it, like, was, like, when the inception of the American dream, like, in the 20s, it was like, America's so great and we're so wealthy, like, they just came out of this, like, huge war, and so I feel like the American dream no longer exists due to, like, unequal opportunity and inequality, so it's like, I think in terms of the book, I think that, like, they definitely had, like, this aspiration, but once you are in America, like, you realize how inequality actually exists, and, like, there's so many obstacles, and, like, someone can come from, like, a very wealthy family, and they're already, like, 3 steps ahead of you, and, like, when you're pursuing the same dream, so I feel like definitely in the book, it's like I feel like they faced a lot of unequal opportunity when they came to America, that's why, like, their dreams didn't thrive the way that they thought they would.
I think you worded that really well.
Thank you. I've been thinking about it so much. I was like, I know exactly what I'm gonna say.
Does anyone else have to go on to the American dream?
Well, I think, like, personally, like, when I was reading the book, I noticed that each person that's presented to us it gives their story, and they tell us what their American dream is, pretty much like what their aspirations were when they're coming here, and then how it kind of transforms into something different, but it's still the American dream because they're still here and they're still living or whatever. But I think it's difficult for them to, like, perceive that, because a lot of them come here not knowing anything about this country. Like, they know what they hear from their family or what they hear from neighbors and stuff like that, but they don't really know. Like, and I remember a friend of mine that was an immigrant, and he would tell me, he goes, we were in Mexico, they used to tell stories like that there was people in helicopters just throwing money down at people, and like that there was just like all this money everywhere, and we got here and it was nothing like that. But not only that, like, it's harder too, because they're not accepted as Americans, even though if they get their paperwork, and it's kind of messed up. I mean, because they work hard and they're just like everybody else. It's like, it's sad to like that they get their dreams diminished in that way. But, like, I don't know, it's hard to say, like, as far as both ends of the both sides, if you will.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
It's
I
like
think
whenever you're the minority group. Sorry.
yeah, and I think like coming from somewhere else and then coming to America, you probably don't expect like that much like inequality, I guess. Like, it's just you just kind of focus on the positive a little more.
The funny thing is that, I mean, America's a melting pot, if you really think about it. I mean, if we look into history and everything, like, everybody was an immigrant coming here, so that's where, like, I look at it, like, I read this book and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I wish I could be in there with you guys saying, it's a big melting pot. Like, yes, and like you said, equality, there's so many inequalities, but there shouldn't be, because my family came from Portuguese, Azore Islands, and from Italy. Granted, I was born here, so I'm not considered an immigrant, but my family, I mean, they did, like, they went over, they didn't do it illegally or anything, but they still came from another country to live here. So I really, that's where it's kind of like, we all came,
We're not all Americans. Yeah.
Exactly. You're just growing one great big melting pot. So that's why I have to laugh at these people that are saying, oh, well, no to immigrants coming. I'm like, well, hi, if you look at your history or your family genealogy, one of your people probably came here. That's why you're here, right? So I mean, that's why I do enjoy reading the book, but I wish I could actually, if they were real people, I'd be saying, hey, no, like, you belong here, like, everyone's welcome. So
so I think her next one was American culture and how it related to Garrett.
Oh yes, the protagonist, right, is what she was saying, right? So that's your typical white boy, I guess, is what they were trying to. That's what when I'm reading, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's your typical arrogant little white boy saying, like, oh, I'm better than you. And I'm thinking, no, but I didn't, I know, remember the one assault thing, which Alma, I thought Mama Bear came out, thank goodness. But again, I just think that there are certain people, and I think it's because of his family and how he was, because I truly believe it's a behavior that was installed in him. It has to be. But thinking that, oh, well, you came here, you don't belong here. I do, so I can do whatever I want to
Yeah.
you. And I didn't like that. I didn't, again, I don't think just because, you think I just don't, I didn't like how he was treating her, but I did love how Alma, even though she doesn't think she belongs here, she still protected her. And she even like went to where his area was. And I think kudos to her on that.
Yeah.
Like, she's like my favorite character in the novel.
I think too, like, I have no sympathy for Garrett at all. Like, and I don't think anything that he does is like justified or anything, but I can see, like, I definitely do think that he is like raised that way. So like he doesn't know better.
It's a learned behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a learned behavior.
Like, I don't know, sometimes that makes me wonder, like, because I mean, I'm not white. I don't know what it's like to be white. I'll never know what it's like to be white, but like, it makes me wonder, like, seeing people that are like that. It's like, is their American dream to be able to like get to boss everybody around and tell everybody who's better than, like, is that like what they do, I don't know. I don't see them making the best out of their situation. Like Garrett doesn't have to like be a bully and hang around and terrorize people. He could go to like after school programs and freaking to boys and girls clubs or the YMCA's. I mean, I know that's what I did when I was a kid, And it's
Yeah,
like,
or just like how Raphael had said. I mean, I know he still kind of has a little bit like of an anger issue, it seems like, but anyways, he definitely changed from how bad he said that his father was. So
right.
it's kind of like he could have just went in a different
Been worse.
direction, but he chose not to.
Yeah, no,
Right.
people can change, like, because he met his wife Cecilia, right? Raphael, is that what it was?
I think
Yeah,
so, yeah.
he met his wife Cecilia, and then she showed him the way. But yeah, Garrett, I mean, yes, it's a learned behavior, but like you said, he can definitely choose to be better. Just like if you grow up with alcoholic parents or abusive parents, you can choose to be better. You don't have to. But he's choosing to be like you said, Amanda, a bully. And that's, I don't, I work in a school district, and we do not do bullies. And I don't care what you are, who you are,
Yeah. Yeah. Does anyone else want
Just
to
adding on to like Amanda's thing about just like what is like Garrett's American dream, I feel like that's definitely like his personality being clouded by like definitely like his white privilege and like just arrogance and never having to like go through anything, I feel like. And I don't know, definitely like you sympathize with people like learning their experiences, and like your personality changes and like how you see things changes like based on what you go through. And I feel like Garrett obviously was never like disrespected due to his race, you know what I mean? So it's like it's different for Garrett, so definitely ignorance and wanting to be on top.
I feel
I
like
don't know
it's
if that makes sense,
entitlement.
I'm sorry.
No, it
No, I
does.
feel like
He
it's
used like his
entitlement.
parents not sorry.
No,
He
go.
used he used like his parents not being in his life as much, kind of like to his advantage. Like when his father and his mother went around, I know he got in that fight. Was that in? I'm pretty sure that was in the second part. And sorry, it's like hard because we had to finish the book. So we
I
did
know.
But anyways, when he got in the fight with like the other kid, he was like, the teacher was like, "Oh, I'm gonna contact your parents," and he was like, "Yeah, good luck." Like he just
Yeah.
like, used it to his advantage in like multiple situations.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else did it say? It said something about
The adolescence of the book.
Oh, yes. That from ages 13 to 20, the form of it and what you think. I mean, I don't know, but I would be okay with, I think the format, I mean, I believe in educating children. So I think if a child, a 13-year-old would read this, I think it'd be perfectly fine, even with the assault situation that it was put into, because again, I believe in educating children and not sheltering them.
Yeah, I agree
So,
completely.
you know, and I also believe that, you know, our youth and young adult need to know about what other people go through and what other cultures and ethnicities and their inequalities. I mean, even gender, female and male, you know, and what the inequalities there. So I think this book shows it is, I mean, like I said, I'm okay with teenagers and young adults reading it. I actually, like I said, I enjoyed reading it because it kind of put me into the shoes of those characters, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't worded like too childish or anything.
No, it wasn't.
I really enjoyed the book.
No, it wasn't.
Me
But like I said,
too.
yeah, like I said, even if it was like, you know, the kids could read it,
Yeah.
I think it's perfect. You know, it was easy to read, it's
Mhm.
understanding. There wasn't anything graphic. I mean, really just that one incident. I think that's it.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, it's an educational piece that, I mean, at least in my opinion, I
Yeah,
would have a high schooler read it.
Hmm. I agree completely.
I wish I would have read the book when I was like 5 years ago. It's such a good book. I
Yeah.
feel like just adding on to like what you were saying, like just the educational aspects of it, like it really put me in their shoes, and I feel like it was really good. Yeah.
Let me see.
I'm thinking,
Okay. Sorry.
or no, I'm just looking at the notes that she left us.
Yeah, the last one was that she wanted us to talk about the mental health and how that's portrayed.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. I want to go first because okay. So in the page numbers, we finally learn about Alma's accident or Mary Bell's accident.
Mhm.
And I feel like just the mental health of Alma is like can be so like deeply interconnected because she's riddled with like guilt. Like she lives every single day with just guilt of like what happened. And then like Alto, sorry. Alto after the accident, he was like, Alma, it's your fault. Like you moved the ladder, like, and all of this stuff. And I feel like that pushed like Alma into this like mindset that like she has to protect Mary Bell, which is like amazing. But I feel like in her head, it's like, I think at one point she had said like she's fine for now. Like when's the next time something else is gonna happen? So it's like, I don't know, definitely the mental health of Alma is just like, I just want to give her a hug and be like, it's not your fault. It's okay.
Yeah, she's definitely overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yep. It's almost
I
go for
I
it.
don't know. I think like in cooperation with that, like one of the big things about like mental health, and I know like in the Latino community, they don't really talk about stuff, or like to therapists. I know that that's been one of the stigmas that is associated with the culture, and like we're the only time that it's really talked about as far as whose fault it is that day, and then they don't talk about it again. And I feel like if she would have like touched bases with her husband and be like, you know what, or just talk to him, or maybe gone to like family counseling, that it wouldn't have been such a strain on her and her kind of that she has to carry the burden, because well, she didn't, you know, it still happens, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
To add to that, unfortunately though, in like Hispanic cultures, they don't do therapy. They have that stigma with, oh no, that's for crazy people, you know.
Right.
And I think, well, I hope our generation, you know, us learning and getting educated, that we can change that, because everyone needs to talk to someone, especially moms. Moms have so much stress and they have so much to deal with. So like I can see all that Alma has to deal with. And I think she definitely could have benefited from therapy.
I'd have to agree, because like I mean, mental health, also physical health too, because all that going on, I mean, physically, I mean, it can break you down too. You know? So I think she does. I think that would be something, but again, like you said, in cultures, they think that, I think just recently over the last 10 years, people are finally like, oh yeah, I go see a therapist. I go see a therapist. And it's like no big deal. But like 15, 20 years ago, like you said, you know, everybody was like, oh gosh, no, like don't say the T word, or don't say the, you know, psychologist word, because you're crazy. But I think now it's more open, and people are more willing to talk about it because it's true. I mean, mental health is a big state. I mean, I speak to it when it comes to our kiddos, in high, I mean, even elementary, because they deal with a lot. You don't have to be a high schooler or an adult. Like, these babes are dealing with a lot because of what they're experiencing and witnessing at home, or on the street or anything. So I definitely, mental health, I think she would be the biggest one. And then I think is it Arturo? You said Arturo or I think it's Arturo. You were right the first time, bro.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I think he's just like really down on himself because, again, especially like, oh, well, this was in different scene in the next chapter, but he's just down because, again, he had a successful business and now it's a mushroom, and just, he doesn't seem happy either. Like, they don't seem happy. You can tell with their relationship too, because of this incident, it's harming their relationship. So I think both of them, Arturo and Alma, both of their mental healths are at stake here because of what had happened to Maribel. So, and I think family therapy, Amanda, like you said, that's what they need right now.
I think even for Maribel too, because I feel when I had first read the book and I was learning about her accident, I always had the question, like, is she aware of like how she felt before the accident and like how much has changed now? And like, I remember when Mayor had read her journal that she writes everything in, she had said something like, I feel the same as I did yesterday. And like, I don't know, I really understood that. And I just feel like there was like definitely like signs of like, she's really just like upset. And then she had shared with Mayor that like, I feel like you're the only person that like believes in me. And like, I feel like you're the only person that sees me for who I am. And like, I feel like there's definitely like, she's definitely going through a lot, even though she doesn't like express it, but like definitely like how she wrote in her journal, like, I feel the same as I did yesterday. Like, I really connected with that. And like, I just saw a deeper meaning into that like she's obviously struggling too.
Right. Well, maybe her mom, because maybe all that, her mother now is so hovering over her.
Right.
Teenager. I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like, I mean, teenagers need to kind of experience things. I mean, it's good to have that open communication with your kids, but I feel like almost overbearing. Like, she's like now like has to like overprotect her, if that makes sense, because she's terrified of something else happening to her. Whereas your teenage years, I mean, it's kind of like, these are your teenage years to experience
on your own.
Yeah. I mean, I just said kind of like your own identity. Like, it's almost like she can't like have her own identity because her mom wants to make sure she prim and proper and not doing anything that she, and not risking or, being, not safe or anything. So it's almost, she's, like you said, she is struggling, but when she shouldn't be in her teenage years, she should be having fun and, getting ready to go off to college. But I don't think that is going to happen because of Alma overbearing with her too.
Yeah, I felt that too. Like I guess they call like a helicopter parent, or they just hover over the kid, And I felt like her condition was improving because they were little by little starting to give her more freedom with like hanging out with Mayor and whatever. And so like that's why I think she started to improve, because she actually had somebody to talk to, somebody to feel normal around, that wasn't going to just be like, telling her what to do all the time. So
her same age, like she was able to connect with somebody her age. Yeah.
I also think that Mayor can also benefit from therapy because he deals with a lot of pressure from his dad. And he also mentions, well, there's that part where like he's lying to him about soccer. And also he mentions a couple times that like his dad is so quick to anger. And so I'm sure dealing with that anxiety of like, oh, how mad is he today or whatever.
And then his older brother, I'm sure he's like, well, he's kind of compared to him a lot. So
he can't be in his own self. Again, identity, like that identity, like they really don't have their own identity because of their parents or their brother. They're not able to have that own identity. But I think when they're with each other, they are like, they really, like you said, like all of you said, they work together, they're good together because they're able to be themselves and have that their own identity. So
I think that's another reason like why Mayor and Maribel like get along really well. I really like watching or reading the like scenes where they're like together.
Yeah, it's so cute. I'm just like, oh.
I think honestly a lot of the book revolves around love.
Mhm.
Just like whether or not it's because they met their like wife and they moved to America or just I don't know, it just seems like a lot of it just circles around that idea.
I definitely have like a very intriguing question, but I really want to wait until our next meeting because like obviously we have more to talk about next time. So I'm like writing it down just so I can remember it. I'm like really interested to hear you guys' point of views on it.
Okay, perfect.
Was there any other questions that she had said? I had written down the American Dream one and then the adolescence one.
And then the culture, American culture,
And the
and
mental
then,
health.
yeah, and then
The-
Garrett's like in depth, like the whole about like what his American dream is, and then if he's disappointed, and then again just the adolescence, like you said, those are the I feel like the top that she was discussing.
Mhm.
So then
I think we totally foreshadowed like the incident with Mary Bell and Garrett because I was like the gas station boy. We were like, I feel like something's gonna happen with him.
Yeah, we brought him up. Yeah, that was-
We cursed it.
I don't know. Do you guys want to say the rest for the next meeting so she can get
let's
back
see
to
if she can
us?
get back to us, and then if she can't get back to us before 6, what I mean, what's our availability for Wednesdays and Thursdays? I know I do have a Citizens Police Academy class tomorrow that starts at 6, so I have to be there at 5:45. But I can do anything from 4:30 to that 5:30 time tomorrow.
Tomorrow works for me. Thursday and Friday wouldn't just because I'm going on or I'm kind of like going out of town. But I mean tomorrow works for me if it works for you guys.
Yeah, it works
Yeah.
for me too.
Works
Amanda,
for
what do you think?
Yeah, I'll send the link after I submit this and everything.
Okay, cool. So then do we want to just instead of let's just plan for tomorrow then? Like
Yeah,
what
I
time?
feel like
Yeah.
that's better.
yeah, so we
okay,
don't have to
let's
rush
go.
it.
Is it 4:30 okay for everybody tomorrow then?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go ahead and do the 4:30 to 5, and then we'll be good with all of that, right? And I think after this, okay, so the responses, did you guys, so is she responding or is it, so we don't have to do any like responding to anything else, right?
No, she posted a response in the discussion. I
Okay,
think
right.
that's all. Yeah.
Okay, because I like March, because it said like something response March 17th. So I was like, okay, are we supposed to respond to somebody else or something? So I
I
wasn't
don't
sure.
think so.
Okay, I didn't think so, but I just wanted to double check unless I'm reading something I wasn't misreading it. So, all right, ladies. Well, then we'll see all of us tomorrow at 4:30.
Perfect.
Perfect, you guys. All right, bye,
Bye,
guys. Have a great
guys.
day.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, Amanda.
No problem.